Well, Bill, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, Kenny, I'm from Fort Valley, Georgia. That's sort of south central part of Georgia. Been there about 9 years, and spent most of my life in Tennessee, but been in Fort Valley for a while. Been with maintenance engineering now for started my 6th year.
6 years already.
Yep.
Seems like yesterday.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tell us the story on how this opportunity has enhanced your lifestyle.
Well, first of all, I've always enjoyed sales. When somebody asks me about how did you get into sales, I always tell them I started when I was in Cub Scouts. When I was in Cub Scouts, I sold cards, Christmas and all occasion cards to raise money. I always enjoyed making money. I think I learned all of my money-making skills from my grandmother. She was a hard worker. But found out about the company through Monster.com. I had been in sales prior to coming on board with maintenance engineering. My wife and I owned a school fundraising company in Tennessee, worked that business for 18 years, and then just prior to coming on board with maintenance engineering, I worked for a nursery that grew plants, wholesale plants in central Georgia. But coming on board with maintenance engineering in 2004, of course, I knew nothing about light bulbs, but and at first I thought, well, never thought about selling light bulbs. And when I first thought about it, of course, interviewed by the phone at that time. And but sales pretty much are sales. If you have a good product, you're working for a good company, you got a good product line, and you learn your material, you can go out and present yourself, sell your company, sell your product to your customer. And so it's been a good 5 years, and built a good client base, and excited about the years to come and continued growth.
Good. Now you mentioned product. How important is the fact that maintenance engineering's got the best product in the market?
Well, it's very important. Number one, it gives you a lot of confidence when you're going in to talk to your customers that you can be sure that you're working for a company. They stand behind their warranties. They stand behind their product. When you put those bulbs in that fixture, you can go away feeling that you've serviced that customer with the very best product for their business, something that's going to last them, that they're going to be excited about, and hopefully too that you can get a lot of referrals from, because that's really to me what this business is all about in terms of opening new accounts. You have a satisfied customer, it's so much easier to get referrals from that customer. And again, when you got a great product like we have here at Maintenance Engineering, then your repeat business is really high, and again, people really trust you. Once those bulbs are in there and they see the longevity in what they do, it really helps build a good relationship between you and that customer.
Good. Now you mentioned referrals. Just a wild guess off the top of your head, what do you suppose the percentage of your new customers that you open up on a weekly or a yearly basis, what percentage of that comes from referrals?
I would, just guessing, I would say at least 40%. Just give you an example. Week before last, I was went into business as a mattress company. They're not a client, but got to speak with a manager there. I'd spoken with the owner before, so we just kind of did some small talk. There was a lady in there selling ads for a local newspaper who was in there with the manager of the mattress store at the same time. So we talked a few minutes, and I mentioned something about referrals and I had businesses right there in the strip mall where this mattress company was. And so when I mentioned referrals, that'll get a lot of my clients in that city from referrals, the manager said, one of my best friends owns a Golden Corral restaurant here, and here's his name, why don't you go see him? And I just walked in and saw the guy, sold him some exit retrofit kits, sold him an LED bulb, and said, if I like your LEDs, I'm going to put them in all my track lights. And so you just never know, but if you don't ask for referrals, you certainly don't get any. And I'm a believer in asking for referrals.
Well, what you just told me is basically if you don't ask, you're cutting yourself out of 40% of the business that you leave and sit out there.
I guess potentially you could say that. Absolutely.
Well, now you've been with the company for what, 6 years? Roughly?
Started my sixth year in December.
Okay.
Yes.
So in the 6 years, what sales accomplishments have you been able to attain, and what personal goals and sales goals do you still see yourself?
What do you mean, like finishing in certain positions of the company? Or
absolutely.
What?
I know you've been pushing that in that top 5. And
first year in 05, I finished number 18 in the company. I think the next year I was at number 6, and then the last 3 years, hopefully including this year, I'll finish in the top 5. So it's it's been a lot of fun. I'm really goal motivated, goal oriented. When I'm out there, I'm going to make, on average, at least 40 calls a day. I'm going to see at least 40 people. I'm real persistent. No's don't ever bother me because I know anybody that's ever been successful in sales, that person has had more no's than anybody else in their company. And there are plenty of people out there that your prospects are unlimited. And you just have to stay focused. You have to stay, have some goals out there. How many people are you going to see a day? How many pitches do you want to make? How many closes? How many times are you going to close that customer? I try to close a customer at least 4 or 5 times before I walk out that door. And if I still get a no, I thank them and I tell them I'll probably be back to see you in another 6 months.
Excellent. If you were to offer some advice to a young representative who's just starting in the business today, what would that advice be?
Well, I think probably the most important thing to me about sales is persistence. I think it's something that is vitally important to success. You also have to have, I guess you have to have some degree of self-motivation. You've got have to have a reason to get up each morning and do what you're doing. And whether it's, the financial aspect of it or maybe down the road saving money for a better home or for your retirement or just, providing good education for your children. I mean, it could be financial. It could, there's a whole lot more to life than money. And I'm not, I don't love money. I like money, and money is enjoyable, and I enjoy giving. And I guess that from my point of view, as far as success and making money, it allows me to have more that I can give to people. And that really is what excites me and is a blessing to me.
Good. Just one last question. You remember your first 4 weeks with the company?
I think I do.
How many orders did you write? Do you remember?
Actually, when I went out and got all of my cards and my initial contacts, the first day that I went out and worked after my initial F1 training, the first customer that I had an appointment with that morning, I made a sale. And I thought, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. This is awesome. But you said the first 4 weeks?
First 4 weeks, yeah.
Well, I know in the first, from what I recall in 2004, I had about 5 weeks of being out there making sales. I think seemed like I did around 6,500, something like that in a 5-week period. So I think that's correct, Ken, but...
It's been 6 years. So.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Bill.
And still, I have a lot of those customers. Some of those customers that I opened initially in 2004 are still clients of mine today.
Well, that's a testament to your persistence of going back to continue to service them.
Well, and it's a testimony to the quality of product that we sell.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Bill.
Thanks, Ken.
All right.